Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Music Production Deep Dive Showcase. This is part of the 2022 summer internship that Bea Group is running. And I'm June Bea, CEO of Bea Group. I wanted to welcome all of you to I've lost count. This is our 8th, I believe, showcase. We are halfway. We have 16 in total. So we have been working with 3 communities: Glendale, Downey, and Davis. And we have high school interns who applied and submitted resumes, were part of interviews, and were selected to participate in this paid summer internship, all working from home. And what we do in this internship is we spend the first week doing onboarding. They get email addresses. We do social justice in the workplace sessions, leadership, communication mastery. We talk about what we are expecting with the internship. And then what we do is we invite industry professionals to be deep dive leads. And we have 16 different deep dives. Today is music production. And we're so fortunate to have collaborative partners, Blue Dot Education. So Brian Delgado and Mike Strong are here, and they're going to share with you what the interns have been working on, and then we'll move into the intern showcases. Hi, Brian. Hi, Mike.
Hey, June.
Hi, June.
Hi.
So Blue Dot Education is a social and environmental justice project, really with the focus on using education as a way to get at those things. For this internship, our goal on our side, the help for us, was that we have years and years of visual media that we work on editing up into clips that we can put out to the world, but often lack music to pair with it. And so that was the help that the interns were doing for us. And really, I think, and Mike can speak more to this, on the intern side, our goal was really to try to create a liberatory work experience where young people had the chance to make decisions, both creative and about their work, as a way to express themselves and sort of get at this music making process.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things we tried to honor as best we could was that we had quite the divergence in previous experience with music. Not necessarily an ability, but in terms of what students had done, what they had been a part of, what style of music they had been exposed to. And I think one of the things you will see quickly and hear quickly is the talent was immense. I think that Brian and I think maybe the first 2 sessions we were together, and even in our interview process, the back channel texting between us that the interns didn't see was a lot of holy crap. This is incredible. Did you see what she said or what she created? Did you see what he did? Did you hear that? This is nuts. And one of our biggest challenges actually was that we had a group that just really wanted to share with each other. And we tended to even go over on our time and meeting times together because it was so much fun creating together.
So I just wanted to take a moment to thank the school districts that made this possible. So I don't know if the folks that are on the Zoom are in a space where they could share, but I did want to thank the Downey School Board. We have a member who is joining us during this session, and also someone from the Davis Joint Unified School District. So if you're in a space where you can unmute and would like to say something, please do. And if not, that's okay too. But we're so happy to have you here. Hi, Linda.
Hi, June. This is very exciting. Thank you to the Bea Group and all of the different opportunities that our students have gotten, from music composition to film and TV to astrophotography. I thought I was watching as well. So this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to what all the kids have created for us musically.
Yes, we are too. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate all of the support from the school board members, from the district, this is our 7th year doing an internship with Downey Unified. So we're super excited. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to Brian and Mike.
Okay, I think we're going to jump right into intern presentations. So first up is going to be Sophia Hernandez.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia Hernandez. I am a upcoming senior at Warren High School in the Downey Unified School District. So prior to this, I've never had experience in making music, and which I really think was really cool, just to, you know, be there and learn new things. So I had the amazing opportunity to work with the deep dive and my peers. So I think that learning new things such as music theory and emotion through music really helps me. So we worked on 3 projects throughout the internship. So this was project 1. So I first worked on creating a piece to go along with media for Blue Dot Education. And I first looked at the video and I kind of saw the energy and saw that it was very energetic, very upbeat. So I decided to create a piece to go along with that, very happy, inspirational, energetic. Here it is. So our second project was a collaborative piece, which me and another intern worked on. This inspiration was mainly without method, and I feel was an essential part to working virtually together, and which I also feel was great because it gave a sense of independence and an ability to get to work. So here's a look at it. So the third and final project was a personal piece, which we had free range of what we like to do and create. So personally, this was a system of trial and error. And it was, I found something that I really liked, and I took inspiration from music that I like to listen to personally and what brings me joy, along with making something I am proud of. So here it is. So overall, my experience with this internship was very great and rewarding. I used materials that were very useful and essential to this internship, which was very new to me. which was the MIDI keyboard. So I learned that patience is a virtue and to pull through when times get tough. I was also provided with abilities I didn't even know I had, which was like a dedication and devotion to learning something completely new. A challenging part would be trial and error and finding something you're proud of. And when you put your all into it, you can truly achieve your goals and aspirations. I was also inspired by the world around me and people, as well as hearing stories through individuals, through music. Here's a couple pictures. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sophia. I want to invite Alejandra up next.
Hello, my name is Alejandra, and I'm going to share my music production experience. My name is Alejandra Guerra, and I'm a rising senior at Warren High School, and this was my music production internship experience. My process. Before creating the song, I learned more about how to use the platform I used, which was Soundtrack. And even though I've used it before, I thought there was like a lot still needed to know and discover about it. So I did some of that. And then I also worked on songs in the morning mainly, or outside when it was quiet. And before using the keyboard, I watched videos about how to understand it, and it assisted me greatly in the pieces that I made. And this is some of the process I went through and some of my pieces. So this is going to be the first experiment I did, which was like a bunch of instruments, and it just sounded like crazy, but this was the first experiment I did. And then this was some progress I made for the personal piece that was made after.
Alejandra, you may have to click when you share the screen, share sound, because I'm not hearing it.
Okay. This was some of the experiment. And then this was some progress I made toward the personal piece. And then this is the personal piece. And then this was another experiment with for the media piece. And then this was my media piece. And then lastly, I have my collaboration piece, which I made with Aaron. little of the pieces I made. Next, I have my resolutions. During this internship, I learned how to create my own tunes and to share with other people. I also learned that I need to have more patience when learning something new. And these resolutions have helped me to be more confident in the stuff I do and assist me in having a positive mindset. Thank you.
That got us a couple times on how the process is so cool. Of just playing and then turning it into something beautiful.
Thank you, Alejandra. Next up is Claire.
Hi, let me just share the screen real quick. Do you guys see it? Okay, great. Not the speaker notes though, right? No speaker notes, just the presentation.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. Hi, my name is Claire. I'm an upcoming senior at Clark Magna High School, and today I'll be going over the process of 3 music pieces that I made and the overall takeaway from this internship. So this one's the first song I made, and I wanted to go for like an R&B vibe. I listened to like Keshi and Mac Aries and learned how they actually played guitar for their chord percussions. So I decided to try that out. So I used voice memo on my phone to record my guitar part, imported to GarageBand, and started exploring a bunch of beats. Yeah, for the sake of time, I'm gonna skip through the songs a little faster because it's pretty repetitive. But the second song was made for one of the assignments we had in this internship, which was making music based off of a random video. And I watched it thinking, oh, rock climbing, nature. This could have some like lo-fi in the background. So I studied a bunch of lo-fis that can match with the video. And this one had audio in it, so I took out clips of it for a little more like, I guess like aesthetic type of music. So I'll play a portion of both. If it loads. Okay, well, it's not loading, but basically there's just audio from this clip, and I just use it for here. Yeah, thank you, Brian and Mike. But yeah, I just added bass and beats that lo-fi uses in general to complete it. But yeah.
You wrapping down?
Oh.
You wrapping down?
Okay, this one's finally playing. But the third and final song that I made was actually easier than the other two because rap can literally use 2 chords and sound like complete. This one was made in FL Studio along with some sample packs that I found. Let's see. See if it's okay. Yeah, so I used to listen to a lot of rap and I liked how people use like those triple hi-hats. I'm sure there's like a name for it, but triple hi-hats. So I added it to the beat and just looped it. Yeah, so the main takeaway from this experience was that studying other people's music that you listen to does help. So I'd say doing more research about them will definitely teach you, especially if you're just like starting it out. Another thing I realized was when I was working on my first piece, I was like, oh, this song has to have like the perfect beat, the perfect melody and bass. And that was the main reason why I never really started making music until this summer, because I thought that whatever music I made is going to turn out bad. And after this internship though, I learned that yeah, it's still gonna be bad, but I'll just have to keep making music and improve. So I wanted to thank Brian and Mike for their time, and especially Beja Group for such an amazing opportunity, because I found a new hobby and I'm definitely gonna make more music. Thank you.
I love that reflection on overcoming the need to be perfect at something
Yeah.
from the start. So thank you for that, Claire. Also, thank you for, because this is bringing back some good memories. These old movies that we have, these old films. Next up is Jamila.
Oops. Okay. Hi, my name is Jamila Lopez, and I'm an upcoming senior at Warren High School, and this is my experience with music production internship. So a little bit about my first personal piece was, well, first I actually worked with Soundtrap. Soundtrap was probably the most simple one that I could find, because I had a lot of trouble with other ones, but I was mainly really comfortable with Soundtrap. And an important factor of my personal piece is that I used to be a figure skater before COVID. So when I was creating this, that was something that came to my inspiration. This was my inspiration for it. So I was looking kind of towards like a calming song that kind of went with the environment and something that I could warm up to, like skate laps around. And this is what I got with it. Start about here. So just for the sake of time, let's skip over that. But next one is a media piece, and I was so happy with this piece, with the media that I got, because this is something that I knew for a fact I could work with. Like I feel, thank you, Brian, for giving me this one. But I got this nice river from Yosemite Park, and immediately I was like, calm, serene feeling. So it was so easy to come up with inspiration for this one. And because it was a river, I had to add river sounds to the actual song. So here. And our last piece that we worked on was our collaborative piece. This one was probably the most difficult for me because I was sticking to kind of one type of music that I wanted to create, and working with other two interns on something completely different was a little bit hard for me because I had to kind of break out of my shell, first of all, and try something different. So this one was kind of a pop upbeat feeling and something you can dance to. So here's that. Something else I kind of want to mention about that was it was just two of us working on it. It was three of us, so we probably all wanted to go in some different direction. So that was kind of interesting having to do that. So kind of as a reflection for the internship, I really learned more about myself in creativity. I've kind of only stuck to really making art as a kid and sticking just to drawing and painting. I never really tried music, even though that was such an important part of my childhood and growing up. And even now, it's still such an important thing. And I have a newfound, well, rekindled appreciation for music, just because I never really, I guess, thought about it and how hard it is to actually make music. I kind of thought that it was just easy because you could look at something and just get inspiration, but it wasn't. I thought it was going to be so much easier for me, and it just really wasn't. And I just thought it was kind of cool that I really got inspiration from a literal river. It kind of shows you that you can get inspiration from some of the smallest things. So that's just what I appreciated from the internship. That's it. Thank you to Brian and to Mike for working with me and allowing me to have this opportunity. And thank you to June and the rest of Beja Group for offering me such a life-changing experience.
Thank you for that reflection. Powerful stuff. Aaron, you are up next.
Like I said, too many tabs open. But yeah. So hello, I'm Aaron. Hold on, let me just close this. Still making noise. So yeah, I'm Aaron. I've been in, this is my first, well, I think this is everybody's first time doing Baya. But yeah, so I was also doing music production, doing other stuff, and I've been trying to do music production a lot in the past, more casually, about like pretty much as casual as you can get, I guess. You know, I've been playing the cello for about 15 years, right? And I've played for different orchestras and different groups, and I've done some solo recitals, but really in that kind of classical music scene, for the musician, everything's already done for them. The music's written out and the production value is already there. They have roadies, the whole thing. Like for a classical musician, your only job is to play it correctly, which, I mean, it's pretty hard, but it's like, I'm not that good in actually the composition part. I was coming into this, you know, pretty excited to learn and stuff. And, you know, still I felt myself, you know, a little bit more behind. I wasn't producing trap beats as a kid. I wasn't doing any of that. So, I mean, I just, you know, kind of sat and got to work. I bought FL Studio for myself about a year ago, maybe more, just because I was bored. And I was just trying how to like design a synthesizer. And it, like, I was Googling how like basic sound design tips on YouTube. And like, even to yesterday, I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. That's really cool. That sounds really good. But, you know, yeah, so I went and I made a couple pieces. I decided to actually put everything with some video because I do study film also. So I just decided, I run a YouTube channel and all that stuff. So I wanted to just put everything with some kind of video. Just to go with the first piece, which is the media piece. I saw, like, for example, Jamila just got like a river and something, and I think I saw Sebastian get like just under the water, which is really easy. I got a hang glider. So I mean, this is the first piece we did. You'll probably be able to tell. The pieces do get better, I assure you. I was not proud of this piece at all, but I did make this. I forget that you need to hold on, where's the share sound? Okay, my bad. All right, thank God that's over. So moving swiftly on. Yeah, I scrapped that one I think 3 times, and yeah, it's just that was the first piece I did. I'm gonna do the collaboration piece second. I was originally gonna do it last, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna go before or after Andrea. But yeah, I'll do the collaboration first because she already kind of did it. But I guess I'll just explain it. Andrea sent me like a little piano riff and then some other stuff in an MP3, and it had piano and an organ and a bunch of other like synthesizers. And I liked the piano and I liked the organ, but I didn't really like the synthesizers. So what I did was I just remade the piano beat and then I played my cello to it. And then she did the percussion after that, and it sounded really good. I was really happy with it. So and then I just threw some GTA footage on that I found on my hard drive. So So yeah, you guys have already heard that. And I was just looking through my hard drive because I have about 1,000 video game clips that I have because I wired my keyboard to just save the last 30 seconds whenever I press F9. So I just threw some GTA footage on that. But the personal piece is one things that I actually liked what I made. Drums have always really been my weakness when it comes to it. Like I can make a nice kind of chord sounding thing. But yeah, I can't really make a good drum beat. I've never really been able to, but Mike showed us a TED talk about somebody just kind of composing a piece as they went through it and like kind of going through the idea of composing a piece. And Mike just said, start it simple. So I named the FL Studio project file, keep it simple. And I just started with 2/2 time and I just added to it. And then I added some reverb, I made some other stuff, and then I meshed it with one of my favorite video game boss fights. So yeah, so I just kind of threw it on there. So yeah. And yeah, so that'll be all. I put it to that footage because I feel like what I made kind of fits that character. He's supposed to be like, um, you know, the guy who sits alone in a factory, just kind of doing his own thing, but also kind of sees himself as a higher being. I don't know. But yeah, that concludes my thing. I am going to keep working on this. There is definitely improvement to be done. I am aware of this. You know, I wish I could just record myself playing a box suite, but that wouldn't be composition or production. So yeah, I mean, that's about it there. I am going to take the guitar class at Warren High coming up. I want to learn a second instrument, so I have my bass guitar back there. But you know, I'm just excited for, you know, what music has in the future for me, and I want to thank the Baya group for the opportunity and the whole thing. So I appreciate it.
Aaron, nobody knows better than you that the achieved state does not exist. What I really appreciate is to see the progression in such a short amount of time. It's really, really cool. All right, Victor, you are up next.
Hi, my name is Victor Garcia. I am a upcoming senior at Downey High School, and I would like to start sharing my slideshow that I have worked on. So right here, I want to talk about my learning process, or what, sorry, what I learned at the internship was about learning the chords and like learning how to play around with music and how to basically make art, because it said that, you know, art is music, and sometimes people don't really agree with that, but I don't see why you wouldn't. It's a form of expressing yourself in a way that you are comfortable with, and I thought that was really cool. So I wanted to like do that for myself, and so I started playing around with the instruments that the group had given me, which was the MIDI keyboard, which was super helpful because I was playing around in Soundtrap, which I think most people can say is the easiest program that we have. And my starting process was trying to make out how it would have people feel. And for our first project, which was the media, it was a little difficult for me because mine was having a drone shot over an ocean. And so I would like to share that. I'll just share my whole screen if you guys could see that. All right. So right here is where I was where I uploaded my music onto our mirror board. And I really hope you guys could hear this. Is the audio there? No. Okay. Well, if that doesn't work, I could just use the audio and share from there.
When you share, you want to make sure you click share sound as well.
Got it. All right, well, did you guys hear that now? Yeah, all right. Well, I was trying to find like a soothing, almost calm beat with my footage, and I kind of got well, I'll just show it. Oh, sorry. And then in the middle, I wanted to try to add some like beauty to it, I guess you would say. So then I paused it a little bit And then I added some piano that I thought would be nice, which you'll hear in a second. All right, well, that's enough of that, sorry. And then for our our collab work, I worked with Kyle and we were trying to collaborate on something that would work for both of us, which my basics are to always start with drums because I want to have a beat to start off first and then go with the flow and then see what I have after that. And so me and Kyle both helped create a flow of the music. I helped with the drums, and then together we both created something that I think is pretty great sounding. So I'll share that sound right now. Oh, sorry. And we both like commented on that and we both agreed that it kind of sounded like a Stranger Things soundtrack. So we both were like pretty excited and we're happy that what our outcome was. My personal piece, on the other hand, I was trying to work out because I was trying to do something different. I don't know many people did this, but I actually created lyrics for my song and I tried to like go for like a pop rock type of vibe with it. So yeah, I'll share that right now.
Hey, you there, walking along. Can you tag on with me? It won't be long. Cause girl, you're looking gorgeous, but I'm really nervous. I don't know how to start this song. You have to learn how to take action and make your own decisions. Cause no one's gonna make it for you. Mama's not around to make you. Gotta get your education. Yeah, life is passing by. So what's the point of being shy? And what's the point of being scared when all you ever see is fear? You have to open up your eyes. Yeah, life is passing by. So what's the point of being shy?
And if you'll notice, I made a chorus to make it an actual song. And I added some monologue into it because I feel like it just fit, but yeah.
Just run away from all your problems. They're harder than you call them, so break them down by having fun. He's out there waiting for you, but you're in your room feeling blue. She could be there in your room instead. It's feeling like a tune because you didn't make your move.
So let me get this straight. You didn't make your move because of her what?
It's her glance that stops me from thinking clearly. I got tunnel vision on her. I can't hide it any longer. I just want her in my fantasy. Now I'm overthinking steps on how to talk to her. Does she like me? I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe that's love, but that's a lot to shove down. Yeah, life is passing by.
So yeah, I'll just stop it there because I am getting a little too embarrassed. So yeah, yeah. At the end of it, I was just trying to find like something that I guess everyone could feel, because I feel like this. I was trying to express, I guess, feelings because people. I guess it's hard to explain in my words because in my song, in the end you'll hear is that I was like saying like I can't express it by words. It's something that you can't say because it takes your breath away. So I feel like the best way to say that is to say that by speaking through music. And so that's what I did. And I am thankful for the Baja group, or the Baya group, sorry, for the Baya group for um, allowing me to share that. And I definitely am gonna do that a lot more, make music to express myself, and hopefully it'll go somewhere for me. So yeah.
Victor, thank you so much.
Man, don't ever be embarrassed. If you can hold off the embarrassment. That's great.
Yep. Man, so much that I want to say in the middle of these, but we got to keep rolling. Sebastian, you're up next, my man.
Hello. My name is Sebastian, and I'm an upcoming senior at Downey High School, and I created 3 pieces of music. So let me just begin to share. I'm on an iPad. I'm sorry. These are my 3 personal pieces. Honestly, like in the beginning, I really didn't know music that much, or I don't have as much as experience in this department. I would consider myself more as sporty since I play soccer for Downey, so I knew sports, but I wanted to take on this experience, and I heard that Downey was providing a Beja production and music, so it gained my interest. And I've always, in a way, had a key connection to music because I always was amazed by many soundtracks in movies or through video games, such as Star Wars or The Predator or Terminator. So I always was like amazed by how like music could create such a special like sound, and how it can be incorporated to any music through the right videos. So these were the these are the building of my 3 music pieces. I used GarageBand, and it was challenging at first because I have a very old computer, so it was very hard to incorporate all these music notes, and Brian was very kind enough to help me, and through his guidance and Mike's guidance, I was able to create my music pieces. So this is my first personal piece. I'm not gonna show it because they're 1 minute each long, but I try to make this one adventurous, and it was inspired by movies and games, and I try to make it uplifting. And I am in a little right side, it's Nate. I don't know if anybody knows, but it's Nathan Drake from Uncharted. So I would play that game, and I saw the movie, and I try to make it uplifting, that sound. Well, I'm gonna show this piece. The second personal piece is I try to make it mysterious and give it like a uprising theme, like Darth Vader. So I'm gonna play. This is my personal piece. Let me know if you can hear it. Well, that was my second piece. I don't know if you heard, but I try to make it more like Star Wars. So, like, I kind of envisioned it like when Darth Vader is marching with like the stormtroopers. I try to make it like mysterious and like climax rising. And we were given through the music production to work on a media piece, and I was given a man rock climbing. So I try to incorporate a sound of like thrill to while he's climbing it, because obviously when you're rock climbing, I've never done this, but like when you're rock climbing, I imagine it'd be scary, even though you have like these hooks on you. I just try to make it like exciting and like mysterious of what will happen. But here it is. And that was the midnight lighting, and those are the two ones I decided to show. And overall, those are my three pieces. And honestly, I believe that when I was making this, I always believe it, but I always believe that like art, like through music, is kind of an art. And honestly, like it's special because through any type of music, you're basically through your feelings or through your emotions, you can create a sound and express it. And we could express it through music. And honestly, I was very grateful to be part of this Beja production, and I'm thankful for like everybody, especially in the beginning I was having trouble trying to connect to this because I didn't want to miss on this opportunity. So I was emailing Carmen, and I was trying to like try my best to make sure I had everything in check, and like I was really excited and looking forward to this. And I'm really happy I was able to participate in this, and through the help of Mike and Brian, I was really happy I was able to complete this journey. And I'm really thankful I didn't pass up on this opportunity.
Sebastian, thank you, my man.
No, thank you.
Yeah, for that genuine reflection. There's the stuff you're making reminds me, years ago I worked with I was working in a high school, and I worked with a student who was doing stuff that sounds similar to what you were doing, and he's now a professional musician in LA. So
yeah, he was just touring in Japan.
Yeah.
If it's a kid, it's a guy, a man now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just hired him for something.
Yep. So keep at it, man.
Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you.
Okay, up next is Richard.
All right. So wait, you can hear me, right?
Hearing some feedback when you speak.
Yeah, some echo.
Can you still hear me? All right, that's weird. Anyway, all right. So I like to focus on electronic music. It was sort of something that I was more comfortable with, and I also bought FL Studio a while back, and it was I was a bit familiar with it, but it was still some parts of it were a bit foreign, and so after I got the MIDI keyboard, I started sort of experimenting and getting more comfortable with FL Studio, and for the media piece, this was actually one of the first pieces I made using FL Studio. It was fairly simple, but it was sort of like the beginning in me sort of understanding, how to make music and how FL Studio works. And I had a few challenges, obviously. I was sort of confused where to start, and if I did start, I was sort of wondering what to add next. What sounded good and why it did sound good, and what didn't sound good and why it didn't. And I think I also had a lot of trouble understanding that, it's not going to be perfect. And I think that's what makes, music is that it's not going to be perfect. And here's my personal piece, which was inspired by me going to the Dollar Tree and buying some Tic Tacs. It's sort of a weird thing to get inspiration from, but that's how it came to be. I think some takeaways from this whole internship is that music is hard. It's hard. It's not as it's easier said than done. It's not as simple as just making a couple beats, slapping a couple effects here and there, and then you're done. You gotta put some feeling into it, put some thought into it. But at the same time, it can be simple or it can be as complicated as you want. I also learned that using my guitar, it's not just a fun little hobby I can have. It can be like a tool in music. I would just use it to sort of just play a couple songs I'd hear on the radio, a couple songs I'd like. But I also found out that I can use it to make music. And in making music, I think my coworkers helped me a lot. Like seeing their processes, seeing what they thought and how they did things was I think a real help. And here's a collaborative piece that I made with Adam and Miriam, which I think is really good. And I want to say thank you to Brian, Mike, and everyone. This was a great experience. I learned a lot about myself, about music, about how to make it, and I thought it was great. Thank you.
Tic Tacs, inspiring, beautiful sounds. I love it. Thank you. So I'm looking and it doesn't seem like Kyle is here. I think he was at the start, so I don't know what happened there. But Edgar, then you're up next.
All right. So, hello, my name is Edgar Flores. I'm an incoming senior at Daniel High School. This is my music production presentation. So, for my process, I use two programs mainly. I use Soundtrap and Serato Studio. I have absolutely like zero experience with using Soundtrap, and I have like a tiny bit of experience using Serato. But they're fairly like basic, programs to start out with. So that kind of made the process of making music a little bit easier on me, especially considering I have no real musical background. And to really just try to start making music, I would just kind of listen to take inspiration from the music I was listening to, like whether it be alternative style music, trance music, breakbeat music. I just try to see what I wanted to make So, and then for my first piece, my media piece, I had a video. It was like a lot of kind of like B-roll style shots, I guess. And I just kind of try to make a song that could really go over like anything that you could kind of just put over these style of shots. So this is. A little bit of that one. That was on. I used Soundtrap for that one, and that was really like my first experience with trying to familiarize myself with Soundtrap and how it works. Try to get a general like bearing of what it was. And then this personal piece was also on Soundtrap for a little bit of. And then this next piece, that piece, like, I'm not really too proud of that piece. That piece was kind of like whatever to me. But this next piece, this is the collaborative piece that I worked on with Andy Velasquez. And this is probably the favorite piece. This one was on Serato. This one I used it a little bit a few years ago. Just downloaded, try to mess around, make some music. So. So that was the bit that I had contributed. And then some general takeaways I got from my experience with this internship was inspiration is something that can literally come from anywhere, whether it be like something you're feeling, other music, movies, really anything. So that kind of just like helped me in my music making process. And that just music production as a whole is a lot more like difficult and intricate than I had originally like assumed, because I've always like watched different like music producers talk about like going through the process of how they made music, how they made like super hit songs, and on paper it seems super simple, just like press a few buttons, move a few dials, and you get a song. But it's a lot more intricate and difficult than that. And that concludes my my presentation.
Thank you, Edgar. All right. Daniel, you're up next.
All right. Hello, my name's Daniel. I'm in Downey High School. I'm gonna be an upcoming senior, and I was part of the music production internship. So in this internship, essentially, we would go into Zoom meetings 2 times a week, and I would just go into a group with like peers who had the same passion for music, who are also interested in music. And it was just cool to be in an environment where like everybody was just like interested in music, and we would always share music. It was just a great experience. And within the internship, we had to make 3 pieces of music, one for a piece of media, one that was collaborative, and one that was a personal piece. And I've never had any experience with music besides listening to it. So, I was getting into something new, and music is like a very creative process, but I like to simplify things into formulas. So this is sort of like the formula I made, which was like, first thing was melodies, which is like a basic like chord progression. So this is like the first basic melody I made for my personal piece. And then it's like a pretty basic, like moody tone. And then I would go into layering, which is getting that same melody and just adding several sounds on top of it. So this is what I came up with. And then I would go into mixing, which is basically like making sure all the sounds are coherent and adding some effects. And this was like the end product. basically just sounds a little more like retro after all the effects. So what I learned in this internship about the world is that there's a ton of resources out there for me to use. I had no clue or any idea about music theory or anything. So I would just go onto YouTube and start looking up videos. And I also had my fellow peers in the internship to help me out. There's a lot of experienced people, so it was really cool to gain knowledge from them too. And something I learned about myself is that I guess I'm a quick learner because I had to learn music theory or like the basics of music theory within 5 weeks, which to me is pretty impressive. And I'd say like the connection between this is that, as corny as it sounds, anything is possible with all the resources out there. You could, if you really like are dedicated to something, like you could accomplish it, and nothing can stop you. And this is my personal piece. This is basically all the sounds you heard from my formula and just combined to one song. And I just want to thank Brian, Mike, and Bea Group for giving me this opportunity to be in this internship. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. I think maybe the best compliment is the people of my house over on the other side are dancing as as your music is playing. So I think you did it, man. Next up is Celine.
Hi, well, my name is Celine Jo Tegibao. I go to Downey and I am an upcoming senior. So throughout this internship with Beja, I really learned so much more than what I'd expect. I'm so sorry. Of course, with our weekly meetings, I'd learn a lot of information with copyright, communication, as well as information on college. But with my deep dive especially, I really learned how unique we all are. As you might have noticed from the previous presentations, they were all different genres or styles, and everyone had different backgrounds and also different levels of their knowledge of music. Personally, I've been doing music for about 5 years. I've been a jazz vocalist with Downey High School for almost 4. And so, yeah, you might have picked up on similar tastes and interests. However, I've noticed we all have a musical thumbprint, which means that no one can make an exact replica of someone else's idea, and I think that's really beautiful. And I saw that firsthand with this internship. So I noticed that especially when I worked with other people. So with our collab piece, it was really fascinating seeing my partner and his process and how it compared with my own. So to really see that comparison, I'll just show my first project I made on here. for the sake of time, I'll just stop it right there. So now that you have a feel of kind of what my genre is, or like what my general style is, I'd like to show you a collab piece that I made with Ashish, who you will hear later on. So as you can tell, they are completely different. So working with someone who has like a genre, a style, or interest that's completely different from yours can really help you come out of your comfort zone. It really changed my thinking process for the better. And so, because I've always stuck to one style, which would be like calming or slow or chill, because I'm just so used to it. Like I found something that I liked and I never really went beyond that. So with this assignment, it really gave me an inspiration and a new drive, and it really made me go beyond what I've always done. And so I'd like to show my process on how I make things. Usually I would go in and try to find a sample that I really vibe with using these loops that were already pre-made on Soundtrap. But with this personal piece, I'm really proud of, because almost everything on here is really organic. Like if it's not live recorded with my little earphones, then it's made with this really pretty contraption. Thank you so much, Behat. This made it so much easier. But basically, usually I'd find a sample and I just hum out a melody that I believe fits with the sample, and then I go back later on and fill it in with lyrics. Although I kind of do that last, because what lyrics is just a melodically told story, right? That can run. And sometimes I need to sit with an instrumental, like a done instrumental, or an idea in my head before I can string out a story. Because it might not always come instantly, although that's a rare instance. Because I believe that music is just a way of expressing how you feel, or communicating through sounds and emotion. So with this personal piece, the reason why it's personal is because this is a jazz standard. It's not completely organic. The lyrics are the only thing I stole from that jazz standard, I promise. But I changed up the chord progression with this live recorded piano. And then I added string ensembles, as you can see on the side, as well as vocal backgrounds right here. For the sake of time, I'll just skip to my favorite part. This is where I add ad-libs. This is like the peak of the song, I think, because it's the loudest. But here you go.
The touch of your hand is like heaven. Your hand in mine, never know. The blush on your cheek whenever I speak tells me that you are my own. My eager heart with such desire, every kiss you give sets my soul on fire. I'd give myself in sweet surrender. I wanna know.
So as you heard, the main focal point honestly is the piano. This is live recorded. I'm not doing piano. My boyfriend is, but you can't really hear it. But I'm also playing my upright bass in that live recording, which is why you don't see like a bass part here. And then as well as the string ensembles, what they do is just play the roots of each like passing chord, right? And so then I have my my ad libs, and then I have each vocal. So this would be the soprano vocal, the alto vocal, and then I tried to do a bass vocal, but I'm a girl, so I can't really go that low. But I tried, you know. But yeah, that'll include my presentation on my take of this really great internship. Thank you so much, Brian, Mike, and Enrique, as well as everyone a part of the Beja internship. It was really cool. I will definitely be doing more music in the future.
Mike told you there was talent coming. Nice job, Celine. And yeah, I see him there. Up next is Andy.
So hi, my name is Andy Velasquez, and I'm an incoming senior into Downey High. And the first thing I want to just say about the internship was it was a really fun experience. Just learning kind of my sound and discovering different ways to unlock that sort of music that I didn't know I was able to create until this point. And so moving with that, I think another thing was that I'm really thankful for is learning how to use DAWs. And for those who don't know, that's digital, blah, blah, blah. I don't know the rest, but it's pretty much a music production studio, which helps you make electronic music and takes electronic sounds and mix it in and compress it into a song. So learning about that, and that was my number one goal of this internship, learning how to familiarize myself with that. So without further ado, let's just get into the music. So before we begin, as you can see, I also made artwork to go with the music as well. I know that I don't want to put anyone down, but I think making this art was kind of like singling myself out from different creators in this space. And so I really had a lot of fun making these. I think way more fun than making music. Not saying that music wasn't. Well, let's just get into it. And so that piece was called Pink Solo. I also like naming them too. So this one was my music to visuals, and this was one of Brian's videos, video of him out in the ocean. And I don't want to spoil a lot of it, but I just want to give like a little intro to it. So so from the first one you heard, it was very structured. A lot of the notes were on time, and once I got further into the process, I sort of just told myself I really didn't need to keep complicating the songs, and that just making small little notes. And I feel like the notes are way more important than actually just contriving a whole song. Have like a bunch of melodies and harmonies. It was really just like the notes that kind of make the song and the way they sound. So this one's called Dolphins. Yeah, so that one was really, really fun. Once I did play, I got like a reaction out of Brian, and he was sort of laughing about the whole thing. How he really didn't expect that sort of music to go with the video that he had, the music he had predicted in his head. So that was fun, just kind of like throwing him off. And then this next one, this one was one of my favorite projects. I think you can kind of see my change in emotion once I keep playing each song. And I think this was my last song that I produced and made. And so at this point, I was really just upset with myself, sort of just like complicating small little notes. I thought, why not just go like avant-garde and crazy and all out, just like my last one. And so this one is called A Real Song. And this is my collaborative piece I made with Edgar. Shout out to Edgar, amazing kid. Oh my God, he loves electronic music just like I do. So it was really, really fun, just like exchanging music and kind of just talking about that as we made an electronic film. Yeah, so that screaming sound, I really want to like focus on that sound because oh my God, that sound haunted me for like a week. I think I was messing around with different synths and I just found that sound and I just couldn't like stop myself from putting it in a song because that was another one of my creative processes was taking different points of I don't know like a movie or a book or like a small thing that I heard someone say and just taking those things and the way they made me feel I couldn't not put them in a song and share it to other people. So just to conclude, I'm really glad that I got into this internship and I'm glad I just met the people that really just helped me kind of focus in on my creativity and were able to help me. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate the like unabashed artistry that you bring to everything. It's really cool to have around. So the next presenter is a rising senior at Downey High School, I believe, and couldn't make it today, but he did share a video. So I'm going to play that. And I'm going to optimize for video. So it'll probably be the only thing we see. Here we go. This is from Alessandro Corona.
My name is Alessandro Corona, an upcoming senior at Downey High School, California, and this is my music production internship showcase. This internship really taught me a lot with creating music and coming up with a workflow to create music, and I learned a lot more about music theory than I knew before. Previously, I had only known like how to play around with scales and notes on my bass guitar, because that's the instrument I know how to play. So this internship really gave me the opportunity to learn a new workflow of making music. I learned to like play around with different notes and see what sounded good, and then kind of use that as a base and add more parts to it to create.
I got a message in chat that the screen is frozen. Is that okay? Let me try this again. QuickTime Player, optimize share sound. Hopefully this will work. Let's try to start it over.
My name is Alessandro Corona, an upcoming senior at Downey High School, California, and this is my music production internship showcase. This internship really taught me a lot with creating music and coming up with a workflow to create music, and I learned a lot more about music theory than I knew before. Previously, I had only known like how to play around with scales and notes on my bass.
Okay, I'm hearing the video is still frozen, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next presenter and see what I can do about maybe getting someone else to share. Let's see. So Marcel, that means you are up.
Hi, my name is Marcel Gentiles, and I'm from Davis Senior High School. I'm going to be a senior this coming school year. And during this internship, I learned how to work under a lot of freedom. That was a big thing on this internship, was giving each intern like the freedom to make their own schedule. And there was just an end goal and an end deadline. You need to have a certain amount of work and number of pieces done at a certain time. But a big thing that I think is important about this is that we were free to tackle that task any way we wanted to. So yeah, so like in the past in school projects or whatnot, I've had mandated check-ins or supervisory contact with teachers, and throughout this internship, I just did that stuff myself. However, the deep dive leads were there for support if I ever needed it. So my process for making music was to oh, let me share my screen too. Okay. Share sounds. Okay, so my process was to begin with an underlying melody, which was the same as I've always kind of made music, because I've made music in the past. I actually used to do it a lot, like while I was in the house all the time during the initial pandemic. So I made it a big goal for myself, because during school I had less time, so I couldn't really make music. So I was like, I want to make some more music during the summer. And once I came across this internship, I was really happy about it, because I'm like, I can do that while getting paid. So it's a win-win. Yeah, so going back to my process, I would begin with an underlying melody or the skeleton of a melody, and then I would add some bass to give it some character, or other like chords or harmony to create suspense, or just give it some feeling. Then the final element that I would add is drums to bring it to life and give it a heartbeat. So throughout this internship, I really made an effort to get out of my comfort zone and make music that's strayed away from what I traditionally make, which is mostly rap beats. But a good example of that is actually my media piece. So that was actually the most challenging part of this. Was I got a video of a drone flying over a marina and taking aerial footage. And I needed to make something very chill and relaxed to that. I could already tell. And so I I went through a bunch of drafts, scrapped a bunch of stuff, wasn't happy with what I made originally, but just kept pushing through. And it actually became the most rewarding thing throughout this whole internship was getting like when that finally clicked and I was just like, okay, this actually sounds good. And it's the way it should sound. Yeah, that was great to push that barrier. So I'll play that right now, or a part of it. Let's see. Oops. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I will finish this off with my personal piece, which is just me making the kind of music that I love to make and gets me really excited to make and always has. So I took a lot of pride in that media piece, but also this personal piece is, yeah, it's just me having fun. Yeah, I'm gonna stop it there. But I really appreciated this internship, and like I said earlier, it was just the perfect thing for me to spend my summer doing, keeping myself busy while having fun. And I appreciate the skills that Brian and Mike have instilled in me by giving me the creative freedom and work freedom to just pace myself how I wanted. And thanks to June and Carmen and the Bea group for making sure that everything went smoothly. And yeah, I think it was a really great experience. So thank you so much.
Marcel, thank you. The music you brought was phenomenal. Let's see. Ashish, you are up next.
All right. Hello, my name is Ashish. I'm an incoming, excuse me, sorry about that. I'm an incoming junior at Davis Senior High School. And for this internship, I made 3 main pieces of music, a personal piece, which I'll be sharing with you guys, a media piece, which is like a song set to a video I was given. My video was like of a national park, I think. It was like a bunch of mountains and a bunch of like forests and stuff. And finally, a collaborative piece that I made with Celine. A little backstory on me is that like before this internship, I had 0 experience like with music like whatsoever. Like I didn't know anything about music production, didn't know anything about music theory. I don't play any instruments. I don't sing. My voice is terrible. But when I heard about this internship, I thought it'd be a great chance for me to get into like music production, which is something I've always been interested in. So for my like creative process, I didn't really have one because I had like no experience. So when I used like Soundtrap to make music, it was mainly me just experimenting through trial and error, you know, slapping stuff together, seeing what loops sounded well when I put them together, and also like trying to make stuff on my own with the MIDI keyboard and with the piano roll that's on Soundtrap. And it was, you know, it was hard at times because, you know, you're trying something new you don't have experience in. But I think this internship was a great opportunity because it gave me, you know, a chance to try something new and to improve at it. You know, I didn't give up. I kept working at it. You know, like I struggled with making like transitions in songs. Like for my media piece, it was really long. So trying to transition like in during the song and not making it, you know, just static throughout was something I worked on a lot. But yeah, overall, I think this internship just taught me to persevere and try new things. Like I ended up having to experiment with a bunch of different genres I never, you know, done before. And this internship itself, you know, music production was something new. And it was just, you know, a really good experience. And here's my personal piece. I'd also like to thank Brian and Mike and Beha for giving me this opportunity because I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Ashish. We're going to keep rolling with Sharon, who's up next.
Hi, my name is Sharon Kang. I am a rising senior at Davis Senior High School. A little bit of background on myself is that I do have some musical background. I've played piano since I was 4, then I moved on to clarinet, flute, and eventually piccolo as well. And going into this internship, I really wanted to try and produce an album, which was a little bit ambitious, but it was totally worth it. I wanted to try out some EDM tracks, some dance and electronic type music. And yeah, so here's a little bit about my process. So basically, while working at with Bea Group, I've had the opportunity of completely just starting from scratch and building songs by myself. And that has been definitely a challenge because, you know, it's not like things are just there for you to play or sing or whatever. It's stuff that you have to go through and seriously put a lot of effort in. And even after hours and hours of spending time just sitting at my computer trying to get everything perfectly done, there's still some stuff I could always be like, oh, I can work on this. But yeah, so here is Lunar Eclipse, I'm sorry, the instrumental version. Let me share some. that's just a little clip of that. And this is another song that I created called Earth. It's a part of the same album, but it just had a little bit more of an intense feel to it. So yeah, that's just a little bit of what I've worked on, and I really wanted to say thank you so much to the Bea group for this great opportunity. It's been such a pleasure working with you.
All the humility in the world. You didn't even share your where we can download the album when it comes out, Sharon. Come on.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Adam, you are up next.
All right. Hello, my name is Adam. I'm currently going to be a 12th grader at Crescenta Valley High School. And today I just wanted to show you some of the stuff I've been working on in the past couple weeks. So I'm going to share my GarageBand and we'll get right into it. So I didn't feel like I could really encapsulate everything that went into all my tracks with just 5 minutes. So I decided that I'd focus on one. And it's not one of my personal pieces. It's actually the collaboration piece. I felt like this one really pushed me out of my comfort zone and got me to grow as a musician. But before I get into that, I wanted to say a little bit about like my past. So I've been in music, I get from the age of 4, really, because I've been playing piano since then. And throughout my years, I've been in percussion section with school bands and school activities. But I only started producing music over the pandemic. So when everything locked down, I realized I needed more hobbies. So I sort of expanded myself out, and I finally like to start making my own music. This internship was really nice for me because it allowed me to focus on a lot of the musical aspects to make myself better. So this personal piece first, we started out with sort of a vibe of the kind of song we wanted. And I would later realize that that was like the wrong step, but I'll show you how. So first, we decided that we wanted to focus on chords to begin with. So this is just the chords that we decided on. So as you can see, those chords are pretty simple, was nothing much. And after that, we decided we wanted to add a little bit of melody. So once melody came to play, it sounded something like this. So once melody came into play, I already realized that this was not going in the direction that we had planned on. We were planning on like hip hop trap kind of thing because we thought that would be the best for a collaboration, but already it was deviating in a completely different direction. So at first I was like, I panicked a little. I was like, what are we going to do? Like, how am I going to make music based off this? But then I sort of realized that like, I didn't really have to go by my structure that I usually go by that I've sort of developed over these 2 years. And instead I could just sort of be free with it and let whatever ideas came to my head, let them go into the track, let them be tested out and see eventually which one was the best choice. So after that, I received 2 tracks from my partners. One was a hi-hat and the other one was a bass. And with that, the groove side of it started to come out more, and we really realized that we weren't going in a hip hop trap direction at all. So then after that, we added some drums, and the drums turned out really to be hip trap. It was just sort of like a dirty. I guess it was still a little. There's still some hip hop undertones of hip hop, but it definitely deviated a lot from the traditional aspect that you might have seen with like Marcel or Sharon's tracks. So afterwards, we focused on the drums, and the drums ended up sounding like this. So we chose a drum patch that would really have like sort of a dirty feel, and I really liked that. And it was based off of a track that Miriam sent that sort of had a basic outlay of how she thought the drum pattern should go. So at this point, I was really experimenting with a lot of stuff. Final move was to add a little arpeggiator, which was just dragging the chords straight from what we did into an arpeggiator and seeing how that would sound. And that ended up sounding like this. And I like that sort of switched the beat up a lot. It made it sound a lot more different than it previously had before, and it had come a long way. And I think this really showed me that, like, regardless of where you think you want to go with music, it's always going to end up taking you somewhere instead. So altogether, I don't have time for all of it, but I'll play the first 4 bars of that, or the 4 bars that show like the climax of that song. So that was sort of my process, and the process that I think now I realize is a lot more spontaneous than I originally thought. Like over the 2 years that I've been producing music, I sort of have established structure and a way to approach every song. And that started to produce like a lot of the same songs. But I'd say that this internship has made me produce very different songs. And I'm really thankful for that. And also this internship has given me more time to sort of actually focus myself on music. Like instead of just being a person who's sitting in the room working on the DAW, it's someone who's professionally doing this, and I sort of have more of a purpose behind it, so I can put more time into it. And I really was really grateful for that. And yeah, I feel like this internship really connected me back with the artistic side of music. Music became a lot more of like an art than something that I was just doing. So I was really grateful for that through all of the stuff, through the TED Talks we were shown, through the song exploder that we were forced to analyze. I really enjoyed exploring music and really opening my horizons. So thank you to Beja Group and to Ryan and Mike for really making this an awesome summer.
Adam, I really, really appreciate that kind of deep dive into the artistic process. It's super fascinating. We got a couple more. Miriam is up.
Hey, hi everyone. So my name is Miriam Akelian. I'm also a rising senior at Cutzamon Valley High School, which is part of the Glendale School District. And so I'm going to be talking about my experience with the music production internship. So prior to this internship, I did have experience like with music theory and playing instruments. I've played piano for many years, but I had like no experience with like actually making music, especially like digitally using GarageBand, which is the software that I used. So it's the most accessible to me. So a lot of the internship was just kind of both trying to figure out how to use this, use GarageBand, and also trying to figure out kind of like a workflow for making the music. So I after like some experimentation, I found that like the easiest kind of progression of producing the music for me was to start with like a basic chord progression and then making a melody, which would kind of be based off the chord progression, and then the bass line, and then just drums to like, as kind of Marcel put it, to kind of give it a personality. So this piece was a lot of like layering. This is one thing they taught us in the internship, was about like layering things on top of each other. So in the beginning, it just started off with kind of, and also this is my media piece, which was based off of like horses in a field with drone footage. So that's kind of what I was going for. So in the beginning, it just kind of started off with broken chords. I actually don't think I've been sharing my sound. And then so after that, it was just adding the bass and then the melody at the end, and it just kind of evolved into something like that. Yeah, just for the sake of time, I can't really share a lot of it, but yeah, there's just a lot of layering things on top of each other. And that was the first piece that I made after like a lot of trial and error. And then so for my progression, so like I mentioned before, I've played piano and like primarily classical music on the piano. And for a long time, that kind of constituted a large portion of what I listened to on my own time as well. But after like using GarageBand and like listening to the other interns as well, doing their own genres of music, I kind of like got out of my comfort zone and gone to more of like other genres. And then one place that I kind of realized like the vibe of music that I generally gravitate towards was through the personal piece. Because in the collaborative piece, we were kind of bouncing off of each other's like ideas music wise. And for the media piece, which was the first one that I shared, it was based off of a video of horses in a field. But for the personal piece, it was just like solely me and like what I wanted to do. And I didn't really have anything specific in mind when I was making it, but just kind of based off like melodies that I kind of played around with, I realized that a lot of those like trial melodies were kind of like the same vibe. It was like kind of like eerie. There's actually this one etude by Chopin, Opus 10, number 6, which kind of has the same like vibe, I guess. I mean, I'm never gonna be as good as Chopin, but the kind of vibe is what it kind of reminded me of. And what was unique about this one was that unlike the other two pieces, which were, or the media piece, where it was like kind of layering things on top of each other, there were obviously layers here. I mean, that's all music, but it was more of like going through different genres of music, because like I said, I was trying to like move towards different things. And so this was more like a Bohemian Rhapsody style type of thing, where it kind of circulated through different types of music. And so I'll just like go briefly through some of that stuff. And goes into more of a different genre. And then I also later went into more of like a waltzy type of thing, with just the piano and just leaning back on a little bit what I'm kind of used to doing. So yeah, and then I'm just gonna end this off on the ending of this piece. Yeah, and one thing that I really liked about that Chopin Etude that I mentioned was that the whole piece is like minor and it's like really like eerie and everything, but it ends on a major chord, which is something that I really liked about that one, and I guess I tried to have in my piece as well. Yeah, so I'm really thankful for this experience. I was happy to go into the world of like digital music production because it was something that I knew absolutely nothing about, and now I realize that it's like a really cool thing that I could get into outside of just like already playing piano. And just getting the work experience also, like the collaboration with Adam and Richard was a really cool experience. So yeah, thanks to Brian and Mike and the Bea group. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Miriam. That's great. And Brian, last of the live presentations.
All right, good afternoon, everyone that was able to be present. My name is Brian Diaz. I am currently a upcoming senior at Warren High School, and this is my presentation of my music production experience. To begin, I'm going to show you guys the process I went through for one of my pieces, which was the media piece. And to begin, like I use Soundtrap, and I've never done anything like this before, so I decided to try Soundtrap, and I really like the program and all the features that it has. So I started messing around with different loops, and I wanted the video to have, I wanted the sound and sample to have like a lo-fi mellow type of vibe. And this is the video. It was it's a video of a national park. And so I went through loops, and eventually I found a melody that I liked, and then I messed around with it, added drums to it, and added something else that I thought would help it sound better, until I came up with a final product of that looked like this. That's how, like, that's a shortened version of what it looked like, and this is how it sounded. Could you guys hear it by any chance?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Oh, sorry. And that's pretty much it. This is my internship experience. I would say that I learned a lot from this experience and in this internship, and I greatly appreciated that everyone that was a part of this, and that some things I learned was that people can create music in different ways. It doesn't have to be all the same. People are also inspired through many different things, which is also really interesting to see. Um, so overall, I really enjoyed this experience, uh, and I really became interested in music production. I could see myself doing this as a hobby as well, too. So I'm glad for that. And I would like to say thank you to everyone that to Brian and Mike for giving me the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Brian. And I believe, because I'm having technical difficulties sharing Alessandro's, I believe, June, you're going to.
I am. I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see if my technology works. All right.
My name is Alessandro Corona, and I'm from a senior at Downey High School, California, and this is my music production internship showcase. This internship really taught me a lot with creating music and coming up with a workflow to create music, and I learned a lot more about music theory than I knew before. Previously, I'd only known like how to play around with scales and notes on my bass guitar, because that's the instrument I know how to play. So this internship really gave me the opportunity to learn a new workflow of making music. I learned to like play around with different notes and see what sounded good, and then kind of use that as a base and add more parts to it to create a song. So then I kind of started creating more recordings with my bass, and then I used the MIDI controller that was provided to me by the Beja group so that I can mess around with software that I found, and it really helped with kind of seeing what music really with how it was structured. First piece that I created was meant for a piece of media that they'd given me. So this piece of media was it was footage from a snorkeling adventure underwater, and I decided to create like a nice calm melody to kind of accompany this video. So then from there, I kind of built on that and created the bass part to it, and then just played around with the chord progression, and came out with this piece. My favorite piece out of the three that I created for the Beja group was my personal piece, which was, it was kind of inspired by artists like Metallica and Megadeth, and so it incorporates an acoustic intro, and then I created a melody, and then from there I used a chord progression to create the main part of the song, and then use that original intro as the chorus for the rest of the song, even though there's no lyrics. But I kind of used that as like the structure for the song, and then just kind of repeated that, and then I used a simple drum beat underneath that to kind of give it some percussion. free software that I found online. So most of the song sounds pretty good, except for the guitar sample that they'd used. It sounds absolutely horrendous, but I kind of had to work with what I had. I only had a bass guitar used to actually record it, so that's the only part that wasn't made with the MIDI controller. So with this internship, it really taught me something very important, and that's that the first pieces that you write are never really going to be good. Like, it's not that I expected my first pieces to be good anyways, but music production is not all about, you know, writing down a piece and expecting it to come out as like an absolute masterpiece. I kind of knew this from the beginning, but I didn't know like just how bad my first pieces would sound. So I understand that it's a process and it will take time for me to get better. And as I get more experience with creating music, hopefully my next pieces come out better. And I really learned about improving my process of making music, being more creative with the sounds that I use, what instruments I use, and most importantly, the tone of how the song is. Because a lot of the way you write the song, it's like almost like writing a paper or writing a story. It kind of has like a certain tone to it. You can make it like a scary song, you can make it a soft, sad song, you can make, you know, there's all sorts of different types of music for different types of people. And I really want to thank the Beja group for giving me this opportunity to be part of this internship and really learn more about music and how it's made.
That was awesome. I'm glad it worked.
Yes, I know he worked hard on it because the first one he sent me had some sound glitches and he had to re-record. So he was working up till today. So
Yeah, I'm glad we could share. Was that everybody, Brian?
I believe that is the entire group. Because Kyle vanished from the room, so I don't know what happened there. I will look into it, but yeah, everybody else I think presented.
Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations, and I wanted to give a moment to Gary Pearson, who is here from Davis. Gary, are you in a spot where you can say a few words?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay, Gary Pearson from Davis Joint Unified School District. I did note our presenters from Davis High School. Really appreciate all the hard work and efforts that they've made. I'm the Career Technical Education Grant Specialist, actually in Davis today. Normally I'm in a different city, so it's been a little technologically challenging just to get here. What I really appreciate is just listening to all the music, all the genre, all the creativity. A key word I heard was musical thumbprints, and I can see that how all of you as interns really took that to mind. It got you out of your comfort zones, which that's the whole part of being in the internship and also being in the real world. You kept up doing it, and perseverance. I heard that repeatedly. And you did it sometimes during pandemics. So you had to be organized. You had to organize your time, even in this time. So just listening to the music and the creativity just really inspired me. And I'm trained in the classics, though June doesn't believe I'm trained in the classics. I am trained in the classical music sense. I listen to country music. That's my classics. So I really appreciate all of you. So keep up the good work and listen to some country music.
Thanks, Gary. All right, so I am not sure how best to, I just wanted to say congratulations to everyone. This is the first time that we have offered music production as a deep dive. And when Brian said, hey, buy some MIDI keyboards, I'm so happy to hear that they were all put to good use. And I have to say, It was something that came up. I was at Comic-Con in line, and I was in line with someone who's a musician, and I was just sharing what you're all doing in this internship. And I just mentioned the MIDI keyboard, and he said that that's something that's actually valued, highly valued in the industry, to have those skills. And I was just really, I was just, chatting, we were in line, and I had no idea, because I am not musically anything. And so I'm just super excited to hear from all of you and the journey. Some of you are from many years of training and musical, playing instruments. And many of you actually had no experience. So I love the range and how you all created so much. And so I'm completely blown away. Thank you all.
I want to just say, Gary said something there that's really important. Yes, to listen to country music, some of you might roll your eyes to that. But the deal is what I heard from all of you in this was that collaborative thing was the thing that pushed you. It's the thing that, and in my mind, when hearing that over and over, I was like, because Mike was the one that threw that out when we were designing this, and I was like, oh, but hearing you all say I got pushed because it was outside of my comfort zone. It was a style that I wasn't used to. And to me, it points to, as you continue to develop those creative skill sets, don't forget to try on different hats and to keep exploring in ways that you might not feel predisposed to, just to give it a try, because that will only add to what you can bring when you get into the creative process.
Yeah, I will be some sort of reciprocation or something, or inversion of Gary. I'm trained in the classics, and those are punk rock bands, which is maybe a little bit different, but that's my background. And what I would say is that ethic has never left me. And I think there's like an ethic that can come from any history or any background or any genre or canon, that can be so complementary to other things. And for me, that punk rock ethic was, I'm going to do this even if I don't know what I'm doing. Right? When I was like 13 years old, just playing a guitar as loud as I could play it in the bedroom, not knowing much. That was a gateway and a pathway to making something that was going to live outside of me. And I think that I feel shocked a little bit that in 5 weeks, we created so much work together that lives outside of us, right? That is like out there. It's like real stuff that has been made and exists, that's shareable, that's sampleable, that is connected to multiple people in some cases, connected to some of those videos that you guys are creating music for were made by, teenagers a decade ago almost. I actually, in one of the videos, you guys don't know this, but one of the little faces you see in one of the videos was Brian's son, who now is like the most handsome man in the world. But back then it was just like, oh my gosh, that was his son's like little young face in that video. And it's a total reimagining and a retelling of a story, of a snapshot in time for us, kind of selfishly, because a lot of these videos are from our life and our work together over years and years. Completely reimagined and given a different emotion and a different vibe, or whatever you want to call it, because of the work that you put into it. And so there's this cool synthesis of like worlds colliding and creating something new. And it's a little bit of world building, which is exciting and fun.
I was just checking. There's so many comments on YouTube that you should definitely go back and look at. There was a lot of shout outs to all of you. And so please do check that out. And I do want to thank the folks who have been with us on YouTube. Thank you. It's been a long day, not gonna lie. So if it's all right with you all, I'm actually gonna say goodbye. But I would like all the interns to stay, because we'd like to take a photo. We'd like to have you have a little celebration. So I'm gonna turn off the live stream. And just a quick shout out, tomorrow we have 4 more showcases. We start with another Blue Dot folk. Andrew's leading the Learn by Design astrophotography tomorrow at 8 a.m. And we have regenerative product design at 10, and then documentary filmmaking at 1 and 4 p.m. CRISPR. So those are all Pacific time. Please do join us at Bea Group, the YouTube channel. So I wanted to sign off for now, and we will be back tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, all of the interns. This was our first music production showcase, and it's very exciting for all of you to participate. So I'm going to sign off